In the next event, from Knoxville, Tennessee, Rick Connors. And from Miami, Florida, Ricky Santana.
All right, fans, the introduction from the ring. Ricky Santana and Rick Connors right here. Ricky Santana, Cuban, born in Cuba, moved to Miami when he was 2 years old as his family brought him over to Miami, raised in Miami, outstanding youngster. And I tell you, since we've last seen him, this man has really come a long, long way, and we're looking for great things out of Rick Santana.
Yeah, I tell you, his father took him out of the country when Castro took over Cuba, brought him here, and they're all American citizens, Bob. Quite an unusual family, to say the least, and this young man has certainly got his heart in what he's doing.
Showing you a lot of speed and quickness in there with those slams and arm drags, and right here I see somebody impressed. Eyes look like they may be bulging over here. Kevin Sullivan. Kevin?
Well, my eyes might be bulging, Bob Collins. They're not bulging over Ricky Santana. What I'm bulging over is, first of all, Dr. Death's out of my hair. A friend of mine, Terry Gordy, in Japan, got rid of the Dr. Death situation. The second thing I want to talk about is the world's champion. Ric Flair, in my estimation, is the greatest world champion of all times. The other thing is, I want to say this because of the situation that happened in Nashville. I'm not agreeing with Terry Funk, what he did to Ric Flair. But as I watch the tape back, all I can say is, you know, you can only push a man so far, and I think the world champion pushed Terry Funk a little too far.
That was inappropriate time to be getting into it. At least that's our opinion. He picked the wrong time to come up there and start making
You mean Ric Flair picked the wrong time?
No, I mean Terry Funk, and you know that, Kevin. He came up there right in the greatest moment when he regained for the 6th time the title. And, well, you know.
Mr. Russell and Mr. Carl, I just want to tell Ric Flair one thing. You have to know history to fight a battle, and the history is this. Terry Funk is just not a contender. Terry Funk's a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion along with his brother. The only brother team to ever hold the World Championship. And the other thing, granted, and the other thing is this. Terry Funk's one of the most dangerous men in wrestling. Terry Funk's father is the man that invented the Texas Death Match. The Funk's name is legend. So, Ric Flair, I'm all for you. But if you're going to get behind this thing, you better know that you're not going after a guy that isn't a contender. Terry Funk's been a contender for the last 6 or 7 years, whether he's been inactive or not. He just jumped back into the battle, and Terry Funk is from the famous Funk family, and ask anybody in Texas, and they'll tell you what Funk spells. Funk spells danger, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, well, certainly you pointed it out. He jumped back in, but look at the way that he did it. He's been out in the Hollywood making movies out there. He has not been in the NWA. He's been to Japan and a few places, and all of a sudden he says, I'm a top contender. I'm your #1 challenger. Let me in there.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you, Lance Russell. Again, I'm not siding with Terry Funk because, in my mind, Ric Flair is the greatest world champion of all time. All I'm telling Ric Flair is, if you're going to fight this battle, if you're going to come back, you better understand history. And Terry Funk is probably the most dangerous man in wrestling in the last 20 years.
Certainly one of the most unpredictable, I'll say that. We've been neglecting a great young champion up here as Kevin has been giving his opinions of the World Heavyweight Champion and Terry Funk. Bob?
Ricky Santana, who has really been taking the action to Rick Connor, had the arm bar, and Connor now, as he breaks that, goes with a foot to the midsection, and those big blows, powerful blows to the back of the neck and to the back. Santana ducks under that big roundhouse right hand, lowered the boom on him, hooked that leg, and there it is.
Ricky Santana.
The winner, Ricky Santana, and very impressive. I'm sorry we didn't have our entire attention on it. As we take a look at it, we're going to be hearing from a guy that always has his attention on what the fans want to know. The fans' man, Joe Pedicino.